everyone. Today I want to talk to you about something that can help you understand your psyche, that can help you understand yourself. Um, I want to talk about Anima and Animus in simple terms. So, Anima is the feminine energy or the part within a man's psyche, and Animus is the masculine energy. It is a part within a woman's psyche. These are inner soul images, not just gender roles, but deeper energetic archetypes that influence how we relate, how we dream, how we create or love and perceive the opposite gender. I am going to create two parts on this, and this is the first part where I will be addressing uh, women, the female energy. And if you are a female, your animus represents your inner masculine, which means it represents the logic, direction, strength, boundaries, willpower, clarity, discipline, and sometimes the voice you hear inside giving opinions or judgments. Now, why is it important to understand this concept? Why did I feel the need to create an episode on this concept? Because your inner relationship with the opposite energy determines your outer experiences. If your animus is wounded, hostile, or controlling, you may attract emotionally unavailable or dominating men. You may also struggle with your own boundaries, your own clarity in life, and your sense of direction in life. You may feel like you need external validation to feel safe or held. If you can understand anima or animus, and because I'm actually going to focus on females in this episode, so understanding your animus will help you reveal your inner imbalances. It will help you heal your core projections onto others. It will also help you restore your wholeness. And how can it help in personal development? It will help you in personal development. When you consciously work with your inner masculine, your animus, you learn to hold yourself emotionally. You learn to set healthy boundaries without guilt. You develop inner structure, discipline, and mental clarity. You stop attracting distorted dynamics like savior, fixer, aggressor, and ultimately you stop looking outside for what you can now offer yourself. But can this help understand your relationships with the opposite gender? Yes, completely. Because we unconsciously project our inner animus onto men. For example, if your inner animus is critical or cold, you might attract men who mirror that. If your inner animus is underdeveloped, you might attract men who are passive or emotionally immature. If you can heal your inner animus, it lets you see men more clearly, not through past wounds. It will help you attract conscious, balanced masculine energy in your life. It will let you experience deeper intimacy without enmeshment or power struggles. And once you start doing the work, there are many powerful exercises on this. You know, you can start going deeper. You can start asking these, specific questions to understand your inner animus. You can personify him. If your inner masculine had a name, age, and form, what would he be like? What does he say to you when you're lost, tired, or unsure? You can even write a dialogue. Something like, Dear Animus, what do you want me to know about myself? What do you want me to know about you? And let him respond. You can have a free conversation with your inner animus. And if you want to go even deeper, you can explore your views on men. What beliefs do you hold about men? Where did those come from? Which ones feel like wounds and which ones feel like truth? And then there is one amazing exercise that you can do. It's called project reflection. You can think of three men, could be a celebrity, somebody from your family, an ex or a partner, a stranger, anybody who triggered strong emotions in you. And then ask yourself, what part of my inner masculine are they reflecting or challenging? Sometimes, even when you are obsessed with someone, we feel like we give, different names to it. But if you start asking, what is it that I really admire about this person? You know, how do I feel in their presence? Why do I feel that in their presence? What is it that I actually need that I'm not giving to myself? For example, if you really admire someone's discipline, and I'm talking about the opposite gender, maybe you admire their discipline or maybe you admire their financial stability, it's your inner animus. You need to start giving it to yourself. And until you start doing that, you will always feel like you are the half and then you are, looking outside for the other half. And you can even create a sacred contract with your animus. For example, once you start having, a dialogue with your inner animus, you will come to know what he wants, what you want from him, and then you can create a contract with him. For example, I promise to listen to you when, and then complete your statement. Anything, If you want, you can also draw your inner animus. You can visualize your inner animus. Sit with your eyes closed. Visualize your animus approaching you. What is he wearing? How does he look at you? What does he offer? And once you start connecting with your inner animus, you will feel safer inside your own body and your own decisions. You'll stop needing external validation from masculine figures. You'll strengthen discernment, courage, and sovereignty. Your outer relationships will mirror your healed inner dynamics. Your creative force will ignite because masculine energy brings focus to your feminine inspiration. Your animus holds the sword, your feminine holds the chalice. And when they unite within, you become whole, clear, centered, and powerful. And to understand your animus is important. And you might ask, why should I start a dialogue with my inner animus? Why should I start a dialogue with animus? Because right now, he's already talking to you. The question is, are you listening consciously or letting his unconscious version run the show? Right? See, he already influences your thoughts. Might as well meet him on purpose. That inner critique, that impulse to prove yourself or control outcomes, that voice telling you you're not doing enough, that's often your wounded or undeveloped animus. Until you consciously engage him, he acts like a tyrant, a judge, a ghost, or sometimes a seductive trickster. If you've ever felt attracted to someone who is emotionally cold, but you can't explain why, if you felt if you felt repelled by a strong assertive man, if you emotionally felt crushed by male disapproval, that's not just them, it's your animus image being projected outward. And the dialogue with your animus will help you pull back your projections, face your story, and rewrite the roles. You begin to see men more clearly and you stop confusing outer relationships with inner wounds. See, your animus holds your inner discipline, your clarity, and your strength. You need your animus or your masculine energy as a female for building consistent habits, for making decisions with confidence, holding boundaries without guilt, taking action aligned with your values. And if you don't develop him consciously, you'll either abandon yourself, because then you will be in the passive feminine mode, or you will become harsh with yourself, which will be your unbalanced masculine mode. A healthy animus is your inner king, your protector, your builder, and your guide. But try to understand at the end of the day, it's your energy. All these qualities, inner king, protector, builder, and guide, I'm not talking about it someone out there. It's your masculine energy. As a female, you have that. And once you start a dialogue with your animus, it invites him into that sacred role. You see, everything is projection, right? When you are not able to set boundaries, which is a masculine trait, which is a trait of a balanced animus, you will not be able to set boundaries outside. And then you will ask that maybe males, or they, you will feel like, they take advantage of uh, your weakness of not being able to set boundaries. So you need to connect with your inner masculine first. And once you start doing that, it opens a path to deep healing, integration, and wholeness. Every woman must integrate her animus to become whole. Otherwise, she stays stuck in emotional loops. She repeats disempowering patterns with men. She doubts her own decisions, her own logic, her own voice. And when you speak to him, you reclaim your inner authority. And spiritually speaking, it is alchemy, because the feminine aspect or the feminine energy is related to flow, intuition, creation. And the masculine energy, it is related to focus, structure, direction. And when these two unite within you, you birth a new relationship to power, a sacred inner partnership. You know, the union of opposites within is the real spiritual marriage. And yes, it can also help you attract the right partner. How? You may ask. Well, it is actually very simple to understand. See, walking with your inner animus, it is, I'm not talking about the superficial manifestation of a dream guy, right? I'm talking about, like, in a real energetic, psychologically sound way, when you stop projecting your unmet needs onto men, when your inner masculine is, so let's go back. Okay, when, let's say, your inner masculine is underdeveloped or wounded, you unconsciously seek someone outside to protect you, make decisions, make you feel loved, make you feel beautiful, validate your worth, give you structure, give you stability, give you direction. That's not love, that's a survival pattern, because your animus or your inner masculine energy is not healed, you are seeking it outside. When you build that strength within, you stop looking for a savior and start attracting partners, not patterns. You become emotionally and energetically whole. The more integrated your inner animus is, the less needy you become. The more magnetic your energy becomes, the clearer your standards become. Healthy partners are drawn to wholeness, not woundedness. When your feminine, which is emotional, intuitive, radiant self, is held by your own masculine, which is steady, discerning, clear, your vibration shifts. You become a sacred mirror to someone who's also whole. And you stop being attracted to red flags. When your animus is wounded, you're drawn to distorted masculine types. Emotionally cold, overly logical, controlling, dominant, avoidant, or the opposite, which could be, passive, flaky, dependent ones. Once you start doing the inner work, you develop discernment. You're no longer impressed by intensity, inconsistency, or chaos. You begin to choose love that is calm, steady, and healthy. Why? Because your inner masculine, your animus, provides you that only. Why would you accept anything less? People do talk about, chemistry. Chemistry is often trauma and pattern recognition, and inner work rewires that. Once you embody the energy of what you want, you receive it. If you desire a partner, and because this episode is specifically for women, if you desire a man who is emotionally available, strong but kind, focused, grounded, deeply respectful of your energy and space, then you must first cultivate that energy in yourself. If you are not giving yourself the respect, if you are not focused, if you are not grounded, how can you expect the outer masculine to give you all that? And if you are already all of that, if your animus is already all of that, you will not ex- accept anything less than that, right? And once you start balancing your animus can help you create better routines, trust your voice, set boundaries, become deeply self honoring. And that's what calls in someone aligned, not just someone attractive. And in a way, once you start doing all this work, you are no longer looking for completion. You are looking for connection. The right partner doesn't complete you, they meet you. When your inner masculine is strong, your outer relationships become more about mutual expansion than emotional survival. So, yes, walking with your inner animus is one of the most powerful ways to heal your relationship with men, end toxic cycles, attract a true conscious masculine partner, and build a relationship that feels like home, not a battlefield.